مشاهدينا في كل مكان، احنا معاكم النهارده هنستكمل حوارنا مع سعادة السفير سوشيل كومار لامسال، سفير دولة نيبال لدى جمهورية مصر العربية. هنتحدث اليوم عن العلاقات الدبلوماسية والتجارية والاقتصادية ما بين الدولتين، بالإضافة طبعا لأبرز الأماكن السياحية لسعادة السفير قام بزيارتها، وأيضا عن أبرز الاستثمارات المستقبلية بين الدولتين. لو عايزين تعرفوا أكتر تابعونا وهذا اللقاء الخاص.
Nepal is a middle-sized country. It is situated in South Asia, between China and India. But essentially, the share of manufacturing industry in the country is yet to increase. Influences from the north, as well as from the south. So it's a mixture of different historical and cultural. Any tourist visiting Nepal is sure that he or she is not going to face any problem, and it's because of the history that we have. The status of women in Nepal is improving. We've had a first woman president of the country. Currently our foreign minister is a woman.
مشاهدينا في كل مكان، احنا معاكم النهارده بنستكمل حوارنا مع سعادة السفير سوشيل كومار لامسال، سفير دولة النيبال لدى جمهورية مصر العربية. Your Excellency, thank you for the second time to have us.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Your Excellency, in this episode we would like to talk more about the relation between Egypt and Nepal. We would like to start with the history of these relations. When did it start?
So Nepal and Egypt are very old friends. We established diplomatic relations in 1957. And actually, Egypt was the 10th country with which Nepal established diplomatic relations, which means Egypt was very important for Nepal's external relations. Egypt is the first country in the Middle East with which we established relations. And the Egyptian embassy in Kathmandu is the only African embassy that we have in Nepal. And this embassy, the embassy of Nepal in Cairo, used to be the only embassy in Africa for a very long period of time. We now have other embassy here, other missions in Africa, but then for a very long time, the embassy in Egypt was the only embassy in Africa. We had others in the Middle East. So, what is the kind of relations that we have? The relations that we enjoy, our two countries enjoy, is a relationship based on trust, understanding, and cooperation. Both Nepal and Egypt are leaders of the non-aligned movement, started by the Egyptian president and other leaders during the time of Abdel Gamal Nasser. We had a robust participation in the COP27, the climate summit held in Sharm el-Sheikh. Nepal and Egypt have common positions and stands in many international issues. Issues relating to the rights of developing countries, on peace and security, on climate change, on development issues, and so on. Both Nepal and Egypt are very active and important partners in development. And we're also important contributors to the peacekeeping forces, the UN peacekeeping missions. Our leaders have given a directive to enhancing our relations from time to time through bilateral visits and through meetings at different occasions. Recently, the President of Nepal and the Prime Minister of Nepal congratulated the leaders of Egypt, President El-Sisi and Prime Minister Madbouli, on the National Day of Egypt. So there have been high-level contacts and communication between the two countries, and the objective of our relations is to enhance mutual cooperation, Egypt has been supporting Nepal's endeavors at economic development through different means. Egypt is providing us scholarships in medicine and in agriculture.
We would like you, Excellency, to talk in details about some of those cooperations. Please let's us start with cultural cooperation. We know that Nepal's embassy held a competition for all the Egyptian arts, and
yes.
it has lots of things like this in the field of culture, exactly. So
yes.
Can you tell us more about it?
Sure, of course. So in the last 2 years, we've held different kinds of events in Egypt. We held a competition among Egyptian school children about Nepal. There were more than 300 students from different schools in and around Cairo who participated in the competition. And they drew pictures about Nepal, about their understanding of Nepal, about the cultural, the natural and social aspects. And we also presented them with prizes and appreciation and so on.
So you tried to make the children
yes.
go and search about
yes, we did
the
that.
country and the people,
we did.
And then they reflect what they knew, their knowledge in pictures.
In pictures.
Yeah, that's a great idea.
So the idea was to inculcate greater knowledge about Nepal and Nepali culture among the Egyptian student community, so that when they grow up, they will have a better appreciation and understanding of our people-to-people relations. They will better understand and appreciate each other's cultures and lifestyles. Recently, we also held a cartoon competition. Not a competition, I would say it's an exhibition about major Nepali personalities. So cartoonists from Egypt, they went and searched about Nepali faces. For example, Gautam Buddha and Prithvinaran Shah and others. And they painted pictures, they created works of art, they created cartoons, and we had an exhibition of those personalities at the embassy here.
It was also for all the Egyptian or for just art localities?
Especially for caricature artists.
Okay.
So they did that. And last year we also held an event inviting summiteers of Mount Everest at the Osana Wellness Club in Maedi. They talked about their experience in Nepal, about Nepal's natural heritage and attractions. Omar Samra, the first Egyptian the first Egyptian to climb Mount Everest, as well as Manal Rostre, the first Egyptian woman to climb Mount Everest, and Sharif Al-Abd is another Egyptian to climb Mount Everest. All of them have participated in these events that we've held and talked about their experience about Nepal and the cultural and natural heritage that Nepal.
Also, when we talk about the relation between Egypt and Nepal, we'd like to know more about the trading sector. How much is the volume of trading in between Egypt and Nepal, and in what field exactly? In what sector of trading?
I'd just like to highlight that trade between Nepal and Egypt is improving and increasing. Mm-hmm. Right now, at the moment, it's not very substantial, honestly. So we import basically fruit and component parts of medicine and drugs from Egypt, mm-hmm. and chemical reagents. And from Nepal, handicrafts and carpets and things like that come to Egypt. But the volume so far is not that big. And however, there is a potential of enhancing bilateral trade.
Is there any investment in between the two countries?
There is some investment from Nepal in Egypt. It's in instant noodles.
Oh, yeah, okay.
And there is also some investment from Egypt in Nepal in restaurants. But the amount, there is a lot of scope for improving it, for increasing it. So I was talking about trade. Earlier this year, Nepal participated in the Cairo International Trade Fair held in Nasr City. And we had different kinds of products on display, including health foods, superfoods, tea, and coffee, and honey, and so on. And there was quite a lot of interest among Egyptian participants and visitors of the fair in Nepali products. So I think in the days ahead, we need to encourage more collaboration between our private sector entities to showcase their products and enhance mutual trade.
Also, I'd like to know more about the scholarships, the cooperation in the field of education and the scholarships, and please tell us about the cooperation between Egypt in the field of Azhar, especially the Azhar, and Nepal in the field of education.
So there are many students from Nepal studying in Egypt right now. Mm-hmm. Let's start with Al-Azhar, with which we've had decades of relations and cooperation. Right now, around 50 students from Nepal are studying at Al-Azhar University in different faculties. And there are also many medical students in Egypt, especially in Cairo University and Ain Shams University. And the Egyptian government also provides some scholarships to Nepali students, especially in medicine and agriculture. 3 agricultural graduates have recently finished their studies in Egypt and gone back to Nepal to work in different fields. There are also some medical doctors who qualified and graduated from Cairo and started working in Nepal. Currently, there are around 100 Nepali students in different faculties in medicine in the Cairo University and Ain Shams University. I think there is a great potential for educational exchange between our two countries, as both of our countries have very young and very talented student communities. Nepali students are also interested in fields such as IT, information technology, and modern agricultural practices in Egypt, for which we send technicians in the field of agriculture every year.
Because already the two countries are agriculture countries, so
yes,
trading or let's say cooperation in the field of agriculture science and,
yes,
and so on, and research is something very important.
Yes, and I'm also happy to note that since I came here, 2 diplomats have also been trained, 2 Nepali diplomats have been trained by the Institute of Diplomatic Studies of Egypt in 2023. The first half, in January 2023. So, there are different sectors in which our two countries are cooperating, but there is a potential for enhancing them further, especially in fields of trade and investment. Regarding investment, to add to the investment that we have in Egypt, but also trying to bring investors from two countries to discuss further about investment potentials. In 2023, in June 2023, I met with the head of GAFI, the General Authority for Free Trade, for investment in free zones. And this year, in April, we had a virtual meeting between GAFI officials and the Investment Board of Nepal, in which the two agencies discussed ways and means of enhancing cooperation and enhancing investment between the two countries. I think in the days ahead there is great potential for improving our trade and investment relations further by bringing our private sector entities together.
And it would be also in the sector of food production, or maybe another sectors?
It could be food production, it could be tourism, it could be hydroelectricity in Nepal, it could be IT, as I mentioned. It could be many different kinds of sectors, because Nepal has a lot to offer as well. Like Egypt, Nepal is also a very strategically situated country between two large markets, two of the largest economies in the world. And I think doing business in Nepal is a profitable and a beneficial activity for Egyptian entrepreneurs.
Your Excellency, you already mentioned about maybe in the future there will be more cooperation in the field of tourism. But now, how is the cooperation between the two countries in the field of tourism?
So this year, what we did was we sent representatives of travel companies from Egypt to visit Nepal. They visited Nepal, different destinations in Nepal, including Kathmandu, Pokhara, Chitwan, and other places. So the idea is to send representatives of travel companies from Egypt to Nepal so that they will have a first-hand experience and understanding about what is there in offer in Nepal. And we also facilitated the visits of photojournalists and photographers from Egypt to visit Nepal. And the photographer, the photojournalist, he has collected many photographs from Nepal, and they will be displayed and will be exhibited on different occasions. I think this will enhance appreciation and awareness of Nepali tourism among Egyptian people, and there will be enhanced cooperation in this field. I'm also happy to note that there are many Nepalese visiting Egypt in recent years. Including people who have retired recently and they want to explore and visit different countries, the pyramids, Luxor, Aswan, but also students. There have been many batches of students from Nepal who have visited Egypt during my stay here in the last 2 years. They've come and seen, and they've been impressed with everything that Egypt has to offer. So in a nutshell, I'd like to emphasize that there is a great potential for mutual exchange, both sides. Nepal has Himalayas, nature, adventure sports, cultural heritage and history, and so many different things to offer. Whereas Egypt, on the other hand, has similar things: ancient history, ancient heritage, monuments, beaches, sun, sea, and sand, right?
The sun and the sand, something.
Yeah, so I think that it's a mutually complementary and mutually beneficial exchange that we're talking about.
Also, I hear probably there is a cooperation maybe in the field of electricity and energy between the two countries, or
there is
something we are aiming to have.
So yes. So in the late 90s, there was an agreement signed between our two countries on enhancing cooperation in electricity and renewable energy. Why? Because Nepal is an important, Nepal is rich, water rich. We have lots of hydroelectricity potential. And Egypt has also had a very successful experience developing hydroelectricity with the Aswan Dam.
Yes.
So the idea is to leverage the experience that we have in our two countries for each other's advantage. And according to the agreement, there have been some training and other mutual exchanges that have happened between our two countries. Our experts and technicians and engineers have visited each other's countries and took part in workshops and seminars, disseminating information and sharing experiences and so on. And I think there is potential for further enhancing this in the future.
That's great. Your Excellency, I would like, of course, to ask you about the tourist destinations that you already visited here in Egypt, and which one is your favorite?
So it's a very difficult question. Every place I visited has had a very deep impression on me. In 2022, I visited Luxor and Aswan. In 2023, I went to Sharm el-Sheikh. I went to Al Alamein. In 2024, I went to Siwa and Marsa Matru and Marsha Alam. I mean, yeah.
You have been around.
Of course, I've been to the pyramids many times and to the museum and Suez Canal and so on.
So which one do you favor, the historical part or the beaches and the modern and
I think they're complementary. I think they're complementary. All of these places have something spectacular to offer. When I went to Luxor, for example, I was very surprised that the artwork and the sculpture from thousands of years ago is preserved so immaculately, so perfectly, that we have the privilege of seeing it with our own eyes today, right? So thanks to the efforts of the government of Egypt, to the people and the government of Egypt, that it has been possible for us. Siwa, I went to Siwa this year, and it's a different world altogether. The extreme calmness, the quiet, and the peace that you find in Siwa it's unspeakably, it's unimaginable. It's something out of the world.
I'm glad that you like it, Your Excellency. And allow me the last question. We always ask about the Egyptian cuisine. Did you try it, and what's your favorite dish?
Yeah, I have tried many, and I think my favorite is kosheri. Why? Because kosheri is something that is similar to what we eat in Nepal as well. We call it khichdi. Kosheri is dry. Khichdi is more wet with lentils cooked and mixed with rice and different other cereals as well. But kosheri, I mean, it's delicious, and I really love it.
Your Excellency, thank you so much for having us, and please thank you for all the information that you shared with us about Nepal and the relation between Nepal and Egypt. Thank you so much for it.
Thank you so much, Sarah, for this opportunity to share information, and not just information, but also ideas about how to further enhance relations between Nepal and Egypt. Nepal and Egypt are both civilizational states with ancient history, a remarkable culture that flows down even to modernity from thousands of years ago. There's so much in common between our two countries that people need to be more aware of. And I think these kinds of programs, the kinds of interface that we have with the people of Egypt, I think it's going to give an opportunity for us to better appreciate and understand the things that bind us together even more closely.
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
مشاهدينا في كل مكان، وبكده انتهى لقائنا مع سعادة السفير سوشيل كومار لامسال، وهو سفير دولة نيبال لدى جمهورية مصر العربية. بتمنى ان اللقاء يكون مثمر بالنسبه لكم، ان احنا تحدثنا فيه عن العلاقات ما بين الدولتين، وايضا تحدثنا عن الاستثمارات واوجه التعاون ما بينهم. اشوفكم على خير ان شاء الله في لقاء اخر، والى اللقاء.